Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 1993 book, R.L. Stine's Goosebumps, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. This came out January 93. This is book 5 in our 62-book series adventure of the original Goosebumps books from 92 to 97. So, this took me a while to read because I was in the midst of redoing a wall unit. So I have a full expansion. I have all my books up. You see that there's some different stuff going on behind me now. Kept up with the... excuse me as I'm dying. Kept up with the Goosebumps bedspread, my hat, my hoodie. We're switching on from hoodie to t-shirt depending on the review, so we're good to go. Now, I finished it finally. I have to catch up because my goal is to finish all 62 books by Halloween, which is in 179 days from today. I'm currently recording this on May the 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I can do it. So, continuing on. Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. There's no actual, mummies until, the very end. And I found it interesting. So, the main character, Gabe, he's in Cairo with his parents on the Christmas vacation. Technically, it's a Christmas film. It's a Christmas review. So, he's on... they live in America. They have family in Egypt. They're Egyptian. So, his parents have business deals to do, throughout Egypt. And they're plan to go to Alexandria to do some business happens a little earlier. So Gabe has to stay in the hotel, during Christmas time, waiting for his Uncle Ben and his cousin Shari to come hang out with him, go explore the tomb, because his Uncle Ben is an archaeologist, Egyptologist, something like that. And so parents go off. Gabe is hanging out, and he's got, this mummy hands that he got, as a gag gift, as a gag from a garage sale back home a long time ago. He uses it as a good luck charm. So he always has it in his pocket. When he gets nervous, he, fiddles with it, whatever. So Shari comes, and Shari and Gabe have a history of, pranking each other, but, also not being nice to each other. She calls him chicken all the time, whatever. So her Uncle Ben then takes them to the Great Pyramid in Cairo and, gives them the behind-the-scenes tour kind of a thing and shows what him and his team have been currently working on, digging. They found a new passage, they found a new tomb, all these things, right? One of his co-founders, co-discoverers, Ahmed, is a bad guy, right? So it's just a matter of, why is Ahmed trying to kill them? And what's up with this curse, right? Because it's not a curse that's bringing a mummy to life, right? So it's called the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. So it's just the fact that anyone who breaks into this priestess Kala's tomb in this chamber of this Great Pyramid, that the curse that is that they have to die, that they can't disturb the tomb, even though she's not actually in there. They don't actually address where she actually is. They address at the very end that the mummy hand that Gabe had this entire time is actually her hand. How it got to America, no idea. Where the rest of her is, doesn't mention it. But the fact that the tomb itself, if anybody goes into the tomb itself, then they're doomed to die. How are they doomed to die? Well, the priestess's descendants are tasked to guard the area. If anybody disturbs it, they have to then be killed. And how they're killed is they're mummified in this chamber from a tar pit. All these different things, right? The skewer up the nose, twinkle it around, and pull the brains out, all that good jazz, right? Mummification. So, as the fight continues, as Shari and Gabe first escape Ahmed, and then get captured by Ahmed in the tomb after being separated from Ben, it's just a matter of then what happens next, right? They're in sarcophagi, they're playing around in the tomb, pranking each other, and then, realizing that this is the priestess's tomb, this is the priestess's chamber. She's not there, but all these mummies are here. Where are these mummies from? They look kind of new. And it turns out that the mummification of those who break into the tomb is because of all the decades and centuries worth, 4,000 years worth of protecting the tomb from the different generations. So the battle ensues. Gabe waves up his mummy hand and tries to just, distract Ahmed to figure out an escape. But it turns out it actually has powers. And the curse is not just within the descendants having to kill those intruders, but it's a matter of the fact that the priestess bestowed magicalness upon herself, even though there's only pieces of her now, in Allah to, Gabe's lucky mummy hand. And so the mummies that were in the room that have been killed over the centuries, people that were killed over the centuries turned into mummies. Therefore, bring Ahmed up and threaten to throw him into the tar pits, but then he escapes and runs away. And then Ben, Shari, and Gabe go back to the hotel room in Cairo and eat their breakfast and discuss about how awesome it was that the mummy hand was actually a real mummy hand and it was actually the priestess's hand the whole time. And then there's knocks at the door and they think it's a mummy, but it's actually his parents back from Alexandria. And that's it. It's a very abrupt ending. There's a lot of unanswered questions though, and I like the book. I also like that it was a Christmas story taking place in the Great Pyramid in Cairo, which is just so random, and I absolutely love it. But there's a lot of unanswered questions in the book. Why was Priestess Kala's body removed if the descendants are supposed to be protecting the area the entire time for 4,000 years? Who allowed her body, her mummied body, to be removed and therefore separated? How did her hand wind up in America, which Gabe bought at a garage sale, which then brought it back to Egypt? So there's a lot of unanswered questions. It's okay. It's still a fast pace. I don't remember if this was an episode on the TV show or not, but it would make good for TV, make good for a Christmas episode. Random Christmas things dangling around the hotel and things like that. It's not my favorite out of the 5 that we've read so far, but it's a good addition. It's quick. It kept me entertained. I just wish there was more explanation of the parts that we just discussed, because it was lacking detail in regards to the plot that we were given. But can't win them all. Not a problem. 62 total books in the franchise, in the original series, 92 to 97. This is the 5th book within that, and our first Christmas review, because I know that there's other Christmas time-related Goosebumps stories, and I don't remember specifically which. I feel like a snowman was a part of one, but we're going to get to that. We're going to read them on to the next review. Mucho mahalo.